place finish and overthrow NRX, because remember, that's a 50-point buffer. If NRX took second and SEAL Team take first, that's 50 points going their way, automatically overtaking NRX. But that's just saying if there was first and second. There are chances that NRX fall out much earlier than that. I mean, they got 12th, 13th place in the last match.
Yeah, anything can change in the last couple of rounds, especially how swingy today has been. We load up onto Gili Island after a little bit of a delay. Thanks for bearing with us, ladies and gentlemen. As we drop down, good spread of the teams. We still see a handful of similar and familiar drop spots. You can see that ETO Gaming are not going to go all the way up towards Observatory, instead elect to drop a little further down towards the south, while Pirate Team actually do the same thing over by Training Base. Everybody else, though, looks like very similar drop spots to what we've seen before.
I mean, nothing much changing. No one really going towards Rust Bay. We'd expect people to glide over there or drive over there once they get a couple of vehicles. Could be wrong, but locking camps might get contested here.
Yeah, we haven't seen that happen very frequently. Most teams giving a wide berth to NRX John.
Number one are going to drop down. But this just looks like they were fighting for vehicles. If you were looking at the top left-hand side of the screen, you would have seen that the KISS just saw one of SEAL Team's players run off with a vehicle, but they aren't dropping towards locking camps. And this is something NRX have to be careful about. Look at number one on your map. It's towards the very center. They are spread out across two different rivers as well. They are
very split
looting.
And that, for a team that just very much lost their lead or lost the buffer of their lead early on, could spell disaster. We'll find out as we are all officially dropped down.
I also don't like split looting in that area. The reason being is teams like number one, teams like SEAL are going to pick up vehicles and drive through. That's where you have so many players getting knocked out early on. Look at that. Got just gets knocked out trying to drive through. Why? This is a very high populated area where everyone's looking for vehicles. Everyone's looking to rotate, try and get it to distant parts of the map that no one else has been able to. And NRX are split looting in the middle of it. Could come back and bite them, but so far a lot of the focus is on no rules as well as a few of the SEAL Team members.
Yep. Kikupaji is going to get one down. Gets got as he was already fallen down. So SEAL Gaming is another team obviously very high in the standings we've talked about. They lose a lot early on in this game too, and that was pretty huge. All right, so let's see how this all shakes out. So far, a lot of our rounds have been very different, atypical in a lot of ways. AROV and Fnatic both kind of occupying that little space over by Echo Valley. Fnatic lost one man early on in this series, or in this map, I should say. Have been a couple of these fights where a team will lose one player very quickly early on when they brush shoulders. A little unusual by SEA standards, but today has been a different sort of set. Oh, Wicca from AROV already having the RPG, and he finds the Da, knocking him down here in this apartment complex.
Pretty happy with that. AOV were already able to take down another member of Fnatic, and it's another match where Fnatic have shown again what they were good at is not the same case for the Grand Finals. They were consistently great at winning these skirmishes when it came to the group stages of the regional clash. Now that we're in the Grand Finals, not the case. It seems to be the weakest point.
That's troubling once again for Fnatic. They want to make up some points. They've only got a round or two left to do it. And yes, Boyka, we know that makes a fun little noise, those bicycles. Fighting over vehicles, though, that's something we hadn't seen in this series, but has happened a number of times in multiple regions across the RGS. That circle, we hadn't talked about it as much, but it is another circle that's kind of way off the map. Top right corner. We'll actually have Observatory in there, but teams dropped a little south of Observatory as opposed to normal strategies.
Again, with it being a very passive region here, we didn't see too much. Jadar is going to be driving away on the bicycle. The rest of the team is going to be following through, trying to get in towards the zone. Zone is top right-hand side of the map, northeastern. A large percentage covering the water, so could be a little bit difficult for some of these teams to rotate towards that area. On top of that, a lot of the teams did not drop inside that zone. Very observatory heavy, and I don't even think Pirate Team went over towards that after their encounter with Brent Esports in the last match. Should be a very open looting area if no one's there. So it could get some more fights towards the 10-15 minute mark where we have teams rotating into the zone itself. But for now, people are just looting, and they're happy to loot outside the play zone, especially since it doesn't actually collapse the first zone until 6 minutes in. So you have till 10 minutes where the entire island's open to loot. And even saying that, until 18 minutes, the zone doesn't do enough damage for you to even worry about it. Just having bandages is going to be enough for you to cruise by without any problems.
Not to mention, a good chunk of the map is outside the zone, just because of where the circle ended up getting drawn. But yes, it is a pretty safe point in the game to make that happen. We're checking in on Bren Esports here, as they're south of Massout Factory. Massout has been the site of a lot of firefights, but considering where the circle is today, or in this map, I don't think we'll see as many there. It's going to be all about the looting. Bren Esports have been very up and down throughout the course of today. Currently sitting in 11th place, just shy of 500 points. Remember, that's kind of in that range of teams that are really trying to fight it out between 6th and 12th. Not too far away, but about 150 back from what would be that 6th place position. And Bren Esports had a shining moment in the sun where they really outperformed their other countrymen of NRX John 316 and NR Warriors. Since then, they have settled back to be the third place Philippines team, the last representative here for the Philippines in the grand finals.
All the teams from the Philippines have got on a first place finish today. Started with NR Warriors and NRX, and we have Bren Esports taking one as well. So, sorry, Bren Esports taking the third one and NRX taking the fourth. So all of them playing really well, and it shows how much this region has grown. Because, I mean, even if you look at the 16th place team, that was Will Clubs from the Philippines as well. They could have had another team in this tournament. Narrowly knocked out by Fate by about just under 100 points, I believe it was.
Yeah. And Fate have climbed since then, too.
Yeah, they've done well, but as a region, the Philippines is climbing. And again, a lot of it was due to NRX being so strong and had to play against them every single time. You have to adapt to good teams when you play against them. It's like when you play junior division sports. If you are good enough to play an age up, you will always play one age up because you grow so much faster. So Breach goes south for AROV.
Yep, they're going to lose Iron Pro. That's Fire Rose that found him. And Yada! Ooh, La Pro! Okay. He's going to get some big old knockdowns onto Yada there. Meanwhile, looks like AROV are still trying to fire back, but some trades left and right inside this house.
Yeah, AROV getting into a fight against one of the Thai teams, but they do okay. Hit 3 players alive, only losing one of their squad mates. Here's Pirate King, bouncing off of a good win in that last map.
Very solid win, but they had a lot of ground to cover, and they're still in 3rd place. I mean, it's worth giving them some credit here that they could place pretty highly.
They're truly the unlucky team. If you even go back to map 1, map 2, this is a team that got themselves into a really good spot towards the final play zone, and a lot of the times just lost because there were too many med stratas around, dropping into 6th, 8th, 7th place. Positions where if Medstrat was eliminated, this is a team that'd be 2nd or 3rd, majority of the time. It's very rare that I say that the team's been unlucky. I think Pirate King have been unlucky because in the times where they've been dealt a bad hand, they've still played relatively well and above and beyond. You draw back to map 1 where Mashiro was able to gun down 2 of the eventual winning players from NR Warriors, knocking them down before they even left the play zone. Mashiro. And he continued to Medstrat, didn't have enough to face off against the dedicated Medstraters. So I will still fault them for not adapting to the Medstrat meta. That is meta right now. If you don't do it, you're going to rob yourself out of consistent finishes. But they are playing very well. A lot of the luck that is involved with play zones and battle royales in general has not been kind to Pirate King, except for the last match, where they capitalized on it fantastically. Taking the final zone in the research edifice and doing well.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's allowed them to stay at least somewhat competitive, though, is even though I will agree with your assessment, they have been a little unlucky in how final placements have gone and how they have not been able to win the Medstrat battles as frequently. But in all rounds but the 3rd, where they got dropped out very early, they still managed to pick up at least 100 points. And I think that's the important thing is, if you can break triple digits every game, you're not going to necessarily win the whole thing, but you can at least keep your name in consideration. And that was a heroic effort in the last round to really pick themselves up. They had great positioning. They got the kills they needed to do. So they're definitely in the running to take a shot at the title. Obviously, there's some titans right in front of them right now with Seal Gaming as well as NRX John 316, the defending champions. We'll see how they end up doing. A lot of teams still trying to make up for lost ground in previous rounds, though. Caravan Strat here coming out for Bren Esports. 2 cars, 2 trucks, better than 1. Trying to find some loot spots.
It's become more popular splitting up the convoys. Used to be a good countermeasure into fighting people on land. And I say this because when the truck meta was in effect, it was rock, paper, scissors. Trucks would beat people out in the open. People out in the open would beat convoys, and convoys would beat trucks. So convoys used to be really good against trucks. Oh wait, no, I've got that the other way around. Trucks used to be good against convoys. Convoys used to be good against people out in the open. People out in the open used to be good against trucks. That's how it went. And now with the truck meta a bit more balanced, convoys just make more sense. But Fate flip a truck. Of course they flip the truck and get into so much trouble for it too.
And it's blown to high heavens. Neko and Reuven getting downed. And all of a sudden, it's starting to look like NR Warriors going to pick up these frags. They get 1, they get 2. Fate are going to be leaving it up to Fate. And I think I've seen this movie before, Fish. Fate losing players early in the game only to come back in the end thanks to Medstrats.
It's their biggest problem. Fate keep having this done to them, and they keep doing it to themselves. I mean, they're split up in a convoy, so less risky, right? They should be driving together. It takes fire away from a team. Imagine this, right? If you're Bren Esports, sorry, I know this is NR Warriors, I say. If you're NR Warriors, you're standing on top of this hill, right? And 2 red trucks drive past you on the road. And you're the shot caller, and you say, let's open fire on the red truck. Your team is not going to stop and ask which one, left or right. Your team is going to go, okay, and open fire. 4 players, the chance of all 4 of them hitting the same truck is really low. Even if you coordinate it, truck on the right. Everyone's in a different position. Truck on the right might be a different thing. They might see a different truck and open fire right away. So it's the fact that the convoy system provides so much protection with trucks being nerfed to half health. You should be moving as a group. Yes, stagger them one in front of the other, a bit further out so you can't get hit by spray damage, but move as a team. Fate and not moving as a team, splitting up is nice, but even then, sure. Even then, if you're telling me that Fate didn't do the convoy system, they couldn't afford it, or something went wrong, that's fine. Why are teams still crashing cars in the grand finals of the Southeast Asian Regional Clash? Throw all that strategy surrounding convoys aside. Throw all of that out. Like out the window. They just were driving down a road and got caught out by a squad. Fate's immediate reaction to flipping the car was, let's drive it straight back at the team that's opening firing on us and already down my ally that was in the vehicle. That's the sound strategy. No, it's not. Don't crash the car. Drive carefully. Get your damn driver's license in the game. You can just jump into a custom match all by yourself and spend an hour just driving around in circles, and I promise you, you'll be a better driver.
This rant brought to you by Fish Disapproves.
I'm upset people keep crashing the damn cars.
You definitely are an advocate for safe driving, for sure. And that is a good thing to be an advocate for. But now we are down to 1 member of Fate. It is Dave Jan, who was the hero of Fate's round 2 performance, where Fnatic actually ended up stealing that placement away by getting the kill on him. It was Jan Fluke that came in and made it happen. But Dave Jan, let's see what he can get done here, because he's not just got a rifle, he's got an RPG, and he's actually fairly sneaky as he's been getting around in this loot. But he is way far off the map right now.
Look at Team 15. They're actually caught in between NR Warriors.
That's
still,
him.
They are still split
That's
looting.
Dave Jan. Oh, they have 2 players left. Okay.
Still split looting. Oh, goodness. Okay. What are we going to do with this team?
I mean, I think at this point he's just going to run as far off the map as he can. And
they promised me
himself
something
into
special. I didn't know something special was finishing 5th every map.
Maybe med stratting was the special thing for them.
They did say it's something to do with meds, but I haven't seen it. And I did question actually message this part. He told me not to reveal too much.
Here's Joel.
He's told me not to remove too much about the
maybe
the
it's
conversation.
split med stratting.
I'm gonna try and find the
All right,
message.
well, you're looking at that. I think a lot of the teams have started to maneuver towards the top right of the map where the circle is closing in. Of course, we're still just shy of 15 minutes.
So he said to me after the match, like the grand finals finishes, he's going to tell me what the strategy is because he doesn't want to reveal too much. He said it involves med kits.
I wonder what it could be.
But they've been the reason why it intrigued me so much is because Fate have always been a med stratting team. So when you say we have a new secret strategy, it involves medkits, I'm like, okay, you're doing the same thing.
Maybe he was just debating you.
But he did say one thing, which kind of made me start thinking. But again, I started racking my head around it. It's like, it still doesn't make sense. And he says, I just said, so is your secret strategy to finish 5th? He laughed and said, no, there were too, is it too many houses or too little? Too many houses inside the final zone. So I'm like, what the hell do you need an open field and medkits for? I still want to know what this is. If we don't get to see
mystery deepens here.
If we don't get to see it happen here, we will at least find out after the broadcast.
Yeah, we'll find out one way or another. I'm sure you'll tweet about it afterwards.
No, I will actually message him now to please let me know after the broadcast what it was so I can say on air.
Oh, yes, indeed. All right. It's been a quiet mid-game here. This is a lot more like we expect from Southeast Asia. Good split of teams across the map. Even the play zone's starting to hone in a little bit. A lot of our teams that have been falling out early, playing it safe. ETO Gaming, Fire Rose, both doing that. Pirate team as well, trying to make up for a couple of less than stellar rounds.
Yeah, look, they got a lot to make up for. This is the first time we've seen WAF make it past 10 minutes.
That is also huge. I mean,
we did it, Mum.
Hey, they're gonna break 100 points. They
Mum.
hadn't done it before this.
Mum, we've done it. 10 minutes, Mum.
But unfortunately, there's still 16 players up, so you can still place lower. It's not about time alive, right?
I just want to see WAF win 2 games back-to-back now. Get 700 points.
Oh, my God. That'd be insane.
Sit in 8th place and be like, what's up, guys?
I mean, they definitely can't win, I'm pretty sure.
No, mathematically they can't win.
But they could definitely jump up the standings.
Remember that the highest amount of points you can get in a single map is 700 and... Goodness sake, this is math. 785 is the most points you can get in a single ROS competitive map. That's near impossible.
Yep.
Means your squad kills every single player.
Well, that'd be pretty crazy.
The highest we've gotten ever, highest recorded competitive match is 475 points. So let's use that as a benchmark. Realistically, they can still come in a pretty high position. That would put them at 1,050 points if they get the highest win we've ever seen twice. It's near impossible. Can be done, near impossible.
Yeah, I would say that's a fair assessment there, Fish.
PlayZone has moved over towards the observatory, top right-hand side of the map. A lot of teams had to make their way over there. Interestingly enough, we had so many people fanned out that we didn't get many of those early game fights. Yeah. However, Loki has spotted out WAF moving in towards his compound.
And here's NRX John, still in first place, not by a lot. Our defending champions kind of licking their wounds after the last round. Start to find a lot more teams cruising into their territory. Looks like number 1 and Seal both heading in. 6ix9ine has his scope on, or has his sights, I should say. Seal coming out. Let's see if they can get the outplays onto number 1. And Sanji going to get dropped down, eliminated almost immediately. Nemesis and the Kiss light him up. It's going to be Hwang On dropped as well. But guess what? Guess who's missing in this? Took.
Of course it's Took.
He's already med stratting.
Yeah, but it's not good coming in for... Dave Jen just dies outside of the play zone as well, by the way. This is not
poor
good.
Dave Jen. That's a pretty terrible... Well, it won't be the end, actually, because FaZe still have one more player up last we checked.
Yep, but not good for Seal. They really wanted a first place, at least, or a few frags here and there.
JZ,
So
gonna find the Kiss.
175 points is all they can really, look for. I like that from JZ. He takes a few shots while he's at the crate. Care package drops right in front of him. Decides as soon as there's a lot of squads coming over towards it, he's going to disengage, gets back towards his compound. Very safe play coming out from NRX, and they need to play safe. They don't have a large buffer anymore. It's just a 50-point buffer between them and Seal.
This is more like the NRX, John, that we saw in every other round except the previous. Playing it safe, good positioning, rotating around into the play zone and a compound early on to allow themselves advantageous positioning. They're going to light that truck up as the chicken grenades come in. JZ still sitting behind the barrier, dodging most of the damage. So number one are going to have a hard time breaching this, considering that they have not been able to catch NRX unawares. 20 minutes tick. Play zone 4. WAFF going to lose some members again, and no one is surprised.
Of course. I'm surprised.
But it wasn't number 1
minutes.
this time. Number 1 were occupied with NRX John.
That's 20 minutes.
You know what I think happened is they were looking for WFF, but they got confused because they both have NRX tags now.
Oh, okay. Conspiracy theory 101.
Yeah, this is my tinfoil hat for today. So they were looking for easy kills, but they actually got the wrong NRX and ran into the defending champs.
Yeah.
Unlucky. No. Sweet caravan there. There's Fnatic. You see Aaron in the sights. Gonna heal up here. Not sure where the rest of his teammates are. I think I saw one drop early on, but Fnatic really do need to have a stellar performance to place anywhere near expectations. Right now in 9th place. Right in the thick of the very heavily contested 6th through 10th place. The new circle, not a lot of compounds. Pirate team have managed to find themselves a little shack, but they're surrounded by Ezio on one side. Those chicken grenades come through. And it looks like couldn't catch the other team on the opposite. Mansum and Valentine pinned down here, but Ezio, let's see, does take 1 shot of damage.
Pirate team do have to move through ECO, so eventually you have to move away from that shack. Only 3 players surviving here, so it seems like they do have someone med-stratting for them at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, WFF gets eliminated.
But
okay.
Manson as well as Valentine will look to try and move in.
Still, though, trying to keep the door shut so they don't take too much damage from the grenades that keep getting chucked their way. And looks like the breach is going to be soon. Ezio coming through. Scopes up, doesn't take the shot.
Would like to see more smoke grenade usage from time to time. Valentine, though.
Yeah, Valentine looks like the Riot Shield actually blocking some damage out here.
Gives time
Gets
for
the down
Manson.
onto ECOC.
It gives time for Manson to peek out and kill ECOC, or at least down him. So now Valentine's in a good position. It allows Manson to get out of the shack as well, and they can start moving in when this zone collapses. 15 seconds and it's going to start to collapse. ECO going to sacrifice that man.
Yeah, table's starting to turn on Ezio at the moment. Still a 3v2, though. Should be favoring them. And there was the other member of Pirate team. It's Roger that gets knocked down and killed by Loki, but that's across the map. So now it's going to be on the main squad members of Pirate team.
It's kind of what happened to Fate in the last match. When your Medstrander dies, it puts a lot of pressure on the surviving players whose job was previously to go out swinging. Like, swing, look for kills. If you die, that's okay. But when your Medstrander dies, same thing happened to Fate in that last match. Suddenly, Manson and Valentine have so much more responsibility. Now they have to justify going out swinging or look for a positional finish.
And Valentine hasn't healed. Valentine is not healed. Manson is the only full health player here on Pirate team, and Valentine kind of split a little bit because you see Pirate King on the opposite side. There's going to be Raynell coming through with Tina Pei. It's Bren Esports. 6ix9ine has sights on as we switch our attention over to NRX's point of view. NRX lost 1 member we saw a little earlier on. But heavy fraggers like an A. 6ix9ine still up here.
Yeah, getting a nice level 3 helmet from that care package as well. 6ix9ine will be pretty happy about that. Bren Esports do spot him out, so he's holding on to a bad position here, but look at the flank coming out from Lycané and Zippy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, number 1 going to lose a few players. We saw Valentine getting down by Ezio. That's that other fight. We'll go back to that one in a little bit. Things are looking a little tough for Pirate team here. There's our mini-map, though, and we can see most of the teams starting to make a run in for the circle.
Only 2 teams have been eliminated, Fury Roads and WAF. Everyone else still has a shot at this, except for Fate. They're med-stratting. We don't count them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got a shot at placing highly with med-stratting. But we will see.
No SEAL team on this map as well, not as far as I can see, so we'd expect them to be somewhere else, med-stratting as well.
Zippy can get dropped a little bit low here. Actually gets dropped down to the ground, and another early fight for NRX John. It looks like that's the elimination.
They're the 3rd team to be eliminated. Yes, they get a few frags on themselves, but still, eliminated at the 3rd spot.
Not a 16 players here. I don't know if we were actually completely updated with everything, but there is NRX John getting knocked down. Fnatic, they get knocked out as well. So I think we're going to start to see a few more coming back in, but it's still not the level of performance from NRX John that we had seen in previous rounds.
No, it is not. NRX being knocked out very early on. That opens up the top of the
Nice
table once
flick,
again.
though. Shibuya finding Majapagi as he turns around. Mac 4 getting gunned down by Kikapaji from NR Warriors. Another fight inside this house. Starting to shrink down the zone pretty quickly, actually.
It sure is. 25 minutes in here, Pyro. It's been a very long map. Very slow map.
Yeah, it has. Kikapagi. Get him to the top level. Waiting up for Lion. And Shibuya. A lot of individual players left up. Kikapaji gets knocked to the ground as he tries to leap out through the window, and Lion vectors him down.
Easy pickup for Lion there. Good job.
This is going to be Pirate King once again trying to protect their current performance in third place. Remember, with Tuk med-stratting, Pirate King need to place a little higher than that in order to try and overtake them. Majapagi is going to get gunned down by Lion. So more frags, the better.
This is big. If Pirate King could take a first place here, that will propel them up. They could sneak in.
They'd be the only team only team to get a consecutive first place finish if they can make that happen.
This is what happened in one of the North American series, where LN was set to take the first ever North American Regional Clash, first ever North American Fox Playing Cup, and then Rejects as FNE snuck in for the win. Pirate King could do the very same thing here, as long as they continue with their performance. A win here should be enough to put them in touching distance, and another good finish in the final map could mean they take it all. 3 back-to-back strong finishes that all Pirate King need, deserved. As we said earlier, one of the teams I can say, you know, if they said luck wasn't on their side today, I would agree. But it seems like they're turning luck back in their side.
If they can make it happen off the performance, who needs luck after all? Brent Esports still up in this one. Pirate Team still up in this one. Mansum, last player standing. Chucking grenades in the direction of Brent Esports. He's outnumbered, but he doesn't look like he's outgunned just yet. Brent Esports don't see him. Meanwhile, we see AROV getting eliminated off screen. That was just due to green zone damage. Lion making a run for it for the rest of the team. Here comes number 1 in Brent Esports. The grassy goes. Another Ezio member still up. This is the longest Ezio seemed to have lasted. So we have a lot of teams with just 1 or 2 players still up.
A lot of the middle of the pack teams as well. No Pirate Team, no SEAL Team, no Fate.
No Pirate King. Lion's going to get dropped.
Pirate King's run coming to an end there. Number 1 getting that kill. Good job. Brent Esports still 1 player alive. Reyno.
Hang around, and he's going to get dropped down trying to outstep the Kiss.
This is
Doesn't
number 1's
happen.
victory. Pirate Team still have Mansum alive. He snuck in there. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy that Pirate Team have actually come back into this with
not a one-on-one,
Mansum
is
being
it?
sneaky.
Is this a 1-on-1?
It might just be. I mean, Brent Esports are number 1. They've lost a lot of players as well, and the Kiss is pretty low on health right
There
now.
we go. So
Mauri
Ezio's
Yes
still
on the
in there.
opposite side.
So it's 3 players all alone.
But Ezio, if Mansum stands up, Ezio, last man standing, would be able to see him. Mauri Yes is here. Incidentally, he gets back down on his knees too. He's
So
not wanna push in.
Mansum knows. He's in close enough proximity that his minimap would have showed him footsteps nearby. So Mayor Yes would have been picked up by that movement. Akame sneaking in as well. Just turn it into a 4-man free-for-all if he can make his way in.
Yeah, it's tense though. The green zone is starting to do a lot of
He's doing
damage
his
here.
best.
Number 7, he's trying to
He thinks
get
he
in
can, he
inside.
thinks he can, he thinks he can, he thinks he can.
Oh, and he dies. Akame. And our Warrior's going to get eliminated here. And it's down to 5.
Oh, he's
2
found
should be
him.
match ready. Mansum gets found and taken out. Ezio. Marius is going to get that one.
It's right after Mansum takes down the Kiss as well. So Ezio just steps in and is like, thank you very much for Final Circle, friends. The question is, who are our final 2 med-stratters? Fate. They're going to be one of them. Who's the other team med-stratting? It's always going to be Seal.
Oh,
It's
boy.
time for med-strat combat. Let's go. Heal up, boys.
All right, quote the music.
Med-strat.
Da, 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 da. Oh, God.
There we go. Fate's eliminated.
Fate's I mean, still, hold on a second, though. That's
Wait,
better than
so
Fate have been
Hang
performing.
on. Fate just got eliminated, which means they were eliminated before the final 3. So 2 other teams are med-stratting off. Which one is it?
So it's Seal, and who else?
We'll find out shortly.
I mean, this is a great round for Ezio, but I wonder if it is a little bit too little, too late for them to really make a last-minute drive. I think they'd need to do this again.
Okay, Thuk just died. So who is our new champion of Medstrat?
Yeah, good question. I mean, yeah, Thuk was holding the record.
Could be a graphical bug, and we could have had Fate still alive, and the biasness in me wants to believe that, but I think NRX...
Possibly. We didn't see all of NRX get eliminated.
Don't know
I
if we
think.
saw NRX get
Now it says
killed.
now it says one left. It
Nah,
was
it's
Loki
Loki.
from Fire Rose. Okay.
There we go. So NRX actually dropping again to 12th place with 3 frags. Not a good finish for them.
Yeah.
Fate in 10th place with 1 frag. I was completely wrong about that. So they do actually get dropped out very early on. Another shake-up at the top of the table. SEAL team are going to be laughing, though, because they have secured first place.
Yeah, they should be able to lock that one up at the moment, and all they need to do is protect it going into our final round. Pirate team, though, starting to come back into this one after having been dropped down the table, and they'll pick up a lot more points off the back of it. But how about this for first and second? Fire